Welcome back, you guys. This is your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update for Tuesday, August the 18th. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday. We've got a lot to get into today. So we're going to jump right into the $1,200 stimulus check update. A lot of you guys that are on SSI and SSDI have asked me in particular, will you guys be receiving a second stimulus check? And based on the information that I'm seeing, I haven't seen anything that will be keeping SSI and SSDI Social Security recipients benefits as well as VA or railroad beneficiaries from receiving the next second stimulus check. So I don't see anything keeping you guys from receiving that. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear because I probably get about 100 comments per day on that one. Also, the White House actually does support the second or the additional refunding of the PPP, which is the Paycheck Protection Program. So for those of you guys who are small business owners, that's my take on that. That hasn't yet been passed, but we are seeing that move forward with regard to the PPP program. Also, will the extra $300 per week federal unemployment insurance benefits be going out and when? So we know that they're going to be going out, but we're going to break down when those $300 per week federal unemployment insurance benefit checks will start going out. And also, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi has called the House of Representatives back from their August recess. They plan to pass a bill today. This was actually advised yesterday. They plan to pass a bill today with regard to the USPS. And what the USPS, also known as the United States Postal Service, has to do with our next stimulus checks and how we could possibly get them faster, potentially by this weekend. I'm going to break it all down for you guys in this video. So be sure to watch this video to the very end. Also, many of you guys, if you saw my video from yesterday, I announced that I'm going to be giving away $1,200. So just a quick reminder, I'm doing a $1,200 stimulus check giveaway. Like I said before, I never received a stimulus check, and I feel you guys for those of you guys who have not received a stimulus check either. You know, it sucks being left out, but whatever. I'm giving away $1,200. So in the description down below, be sure to click the link that says $1,200 giveaway and just follow the instructions on how to sign up. It's super duper easy. Just click the link and there's like 3 buttons you got to click on. Also, many of you guys signed up yesterday for the $1,200 stimulus check giveaway, and that was super duper cool. However, Facebook got flooded with all of your sign up, all of your registrations. So if you signed up yesterday, I would recommend that you sign up again just to be sure, because Facebook was throwing some crazy errors just due to the overwhelming demand from you guys. So I love it, but you know, I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to sign up. So make sure you register in the link down below. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, how to build multiple streams of income. So if you're interested in any of that, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You guys, you know, I put a lot of effort and time into these videos. You know, it might be a 10-minute video, but it might take me a couple of hours or several hours just to collect the information and break it down in a way where most people can understand it, because a lot of this information is kind of cryptic, right? So, you know, between doing all of that and editing the video and getting it uploaded, it's a task. So if you guys are getting any value out of these videos, I would super duper really appreciate if you smash the like button. So anyway, let's jump right into it. So I'm going to break it down for you guys exactly how does this new USPS, United States Postal Service bill potentially bring us a stimulus check faster. I'm going to break down all these details for you guys right now. So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called the House of Representatives back from their August recess. And so the point behind doing this is that they need to vote on this new $25 billion funding package, this funding bill for the United States Postal Service. Now, according to CNN, this $25 billion bill is actually supposed to be finalized today, according to Nancy Pelosi. Now, it does seem like the USPS has been at the center of heated discussion with regard to the reduced amount of service available from the USPS. Many have said that these reduced service changes will impair the USPS's ability to handle mail-in voting. But according to the 2019 financial report from the USPS, it actually looks like they're on the verge of being insolvent. Insolvency just means unable to pay money that is owed to a person or to an entity. So basically, the USPS is almost to a point where they can't pay their bills. As of last year in 2019, the USPS was in debt by $11 billion and lost $8.8 billion over that 12-month period. Now, according to the United States Postal Service, to meet universal service obligations, our network infrastructure costs are largely fixed or are growing as we add approximately 1 million delivery points every year. We are also subject to inflationary pressures and legislative mandates, particularly with regard to employee and retiree benefits. Now, I have looked at the financial statement of the USPS, and I did notice that their financials, their revenue actually increased year over year from 2017 going into 2018. However, their expenses increased significantly more than their income. And obviously this can't work. So like I teach in my financial freedom coaching program, if your income increased by, let's just say 5%, there's no way in the world that you can sustain increasing your expenses by 10, 15, 20%. You know, you have to always out earn your expenses, and the United States Postal Service is definitely not doing this. So this is unsustainable. So of course, many of you guys might be thinking, well, what the heck does this annual financial report for the United States Postal Service have anything to do with my stimulus check, right? And I totally feel you guys. So anyway, the reason why I bring that up is basically the United States Postal Service is losing money year over year, and not by a little bit, by a lot of it. Essentially, the United States Postal Service is looking to cut expenses wherever it can, and it's trying to make itself become profitable again. And so one of the measures that it took was it was removing a number of the post office boxes that are on the corners of different streets in order to save money. Why did they decide to do that? Well, according to the information provided, when the USPS looked at its income streams, it realized that the amount of revenue, the amount of income that they were generating from these blue boxes, from these mailboxes, was declining drastically. So instead of paying so much money to have so many of them out there, it actually cost them quite a bit of money to have each one out there. They were removing them so that they could actually cut costs and hopefully get to a point of profitability again. So the idea behind removing these underused mailboxes was to cut costs to help the USPS become more profitable. Now, the rumor is that, Trump is working with the United States Postal Service to remove these mailboxes from the street corners in order to impact the amount of mail-in votes that take place. President Trump believes that a lot of mail-in fraud can take place when it comes to voting. And so many people are making the argument that President Trump is working with the United States Postal Service to remove the mailboxes to limit the number of mail-in votes that can actually take place. But the USPS's argument is saying, hey, we're losing money. These mailboxes are underused. They're not getting used that much, and we're losing money by having them. So in order to save money and reduce our expenses so that we can become profitable again, they're removing them. Removing the post office boxes that are underutilized from street corners is actually a regular occurrence by the United States Postal Service. However, it's gotten a lot more light just because of the election coming up. And, this has been a topic of debate with regard to mail-in voting. Now, according to the Washington Examiner report, the USPS should actually still be able to handle the mail-in voting. Now, earlier this year, census reports, as well as stimulus checks and a number of other stimulus package related documents accounted for 450 million pieces of mail. And the USPS was able to handle that amount of mail in circulation without a problem. Now, it is estimated that there are 158 million voters. Now, with that being said, there are over 158 million registered voters, and of that number, tens of millions are expected not to even bother voting. So the argument that's being made is that if the USPS is able to handle 450 million pieces of mail in circulation, they could definitely be able to handle at the most 158 million pieces of mail by the time mail-in voting actually takes place. Now, with all that being said, the USPS has actually sent out letters recently to states basically saying that, hey, we can handle all of the inflow of mail. However, the delivery of the mail may actually be delayed. Now, the biggest problem with that is if the delivery of the mail is delayed, especially in terms of the mail-in ballots, this could significantly impact the election results. And so if the mail-in votes actually show up late, then they could potentially not even be counted. Now, up until about 2 weeks ago, the House of Representatives and the Senate were debating back and forth about this next really large stimulus package. Now, within this large stimulus package included a $25 billion allocation for the USPS. Now, this was a major sticking point in terms of negotiations, and specifically President Trump is just really against providing funding for the United States Postal Service. However, as of recently, it's been said that the White House did come to a tentative agreement for $10 billion allocated funding for the United States Postal Service. So this is really good news for the Democrats, for the House of Representatives. The Trump administration has also reassured that, the USPS cost-cutting measures in terms of, removing the post office boxes was purely from a cost-saving perspective. on behalf of the USPS, and that, the White House didn't actually tell them to remove any mailboxes. Now, the House of Representatives really wanted to get this bill passed so badly for the USPS, so much so that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi decided to call the House of Representatives back in for an emergency vote on Saturday. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows on Monday called for the USPS funding to be wrapped into a deal with other pieces of the relief talks, including provisions for another round of direct payments, also known as stimulus checks for Americans. He said, and I quote, "We'd sign that." Mark Meadows said that the president is very clear. He's willing to provide money for the post office as long as it is included in some other skinny measure if we can't agree on a larger deal. So basically, the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, the Democrats, they want to get funding for the United States Postal Service. And President Trump is basically saying, hey, I'm willing to do this as long as we can get some things I want in here too. And one thing that he wants in particular is the next round of direct payments, as they call them, which is also known as the stimulus checks. And clearly this is of very high importance for the House of Representatives, for the Democrats, for Nancy Pelosi to say, hey guys, we need all of you guys to come back early from your August recess. We need to hurry up and vote on this bill. And so President Trump and the White House recognize how important passing this bill is for the Democrats, that we could potentially see the next round of stimulus checks approved at the end of this week. And so lastly, I wanted to touch on the unemployment insurance benefits, the federal unemployment insurance benefits, the Lost Wages Assistance Program, which is also known as the LWA. This is what President Trump signed off on in terms of the executive orders a couple weekends back. And FEMA has confirmed that payments should actually start going out 3 weeks after August 8th. Essentially, states have to adjust their systems to be in alignment with FEMA's review process. Now, of course, anyone waiting for these $300 per week unemployment insurance benefits doesn't want to hear that, but that's the truth, guys, unfortunately. But I've got a question for you guys. I'd like to ask you guys a favor. As you guys know, I'm not big on politics. I've told you guys I'm not a political guy at all. I just share this information because it impacts your finances, and this is a financial channel, and so that's what I'm doing. I'd like to ask you guys a quick question though, because I don't quite understand this. If you guys could drop me a comment down below, I would totally appreciate that. I would like to ask if someone could please explain to me, why do the Democrats care so much about the United States Postal Service? As far as I understand, the way it works is the post office just delivers mail, and they're kind of, they're a business. So if they go out of business, then, I don't understand why it's so important to the Democrats. So if you guys understand that and you can drop me a comment down below, I would love to hear from you guys, because I have been looking into it and I don't see any clear explanation for why the Democrats care so much about the survival of the United States Postal Service. So again, if you guys could, drop me a comment down below and let me know, I would love to get filled into the conversation, because I totally don't get it. Anyway, that's all for this update, guys. Don't forget to sign up for my $1,200 stimulus check cash giveaway in the description of this video. Super duper easy to sign up. It'll take you like 20 seconds to get that done, and you could be entered to win my $1,200 stimulus check giveaway. Anyway, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I'll see you guys on the next one.